We're live. Okay, today is yoga for strength. We are going to focus on building body strength. One of the things building body strength does is it also makes us feel stronger on the other layers. So we are gonna, Kayla's gonna take a nap. So we are going to focus on really building some strength. We're going to focus on upper body and hips today. We're going to see if we can get to flying pigeon. It's just for play. You don't have to do it. If you have bands, they can be handy. You don't have to have them. If you have blocks, they can be handy also. And you don't have to have them. So for today, we're going to get started on our backs. Feet down, knees up. Maybe a little restorative, so taking the feet a little wider. Wriggling around and landing on the mat, getting comfortable, finding your hips on the ground. Letting your knees soften in towards each other. And just starting to land in present moment in time. So starting to just be on your mat in this moment, finding your breath, and doing a check-in, just noticing how your body, your mind, your mental state feels, your emotional state, just checking in. Asking yourself the question, how am I? And patiently and kindly listening to the answers. Remembering that this is your mat. The answer is for you only. There doesn't need to be any judgment. There doesn't need to be any should or should not, or oh, my legs shouldn't feel this way, or I shouldn't be feeling unhappy or sad or stressed or worried. Just listen. Listen to where you are at. Give yourself some kindness. Spare yourself some non-judgment for just a few breaths. Tuning in. And then bringing the palms of your hands together, rubbing them and making them nice and warm. Really, 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 really warm. Bring them just under your rib cage. Feel the warmth of your hands here. And then begin to send your breath down to the bottom of your lungs. As if the warmth of your hand can soften this place, this space in your body, and allow your lungs and all the organs that help your lungs move to move more freely. Everything's softened. More space for your breath. And then rub your hands together again, make them nice and warm. And this time bring them up on your chest. So feel the warmth of your hands just underneath your collarbones, and then allow your breath to come up into the top corners of your lungs. Without force, just meeting your hands, feeling the warmth of your hands and filling up your breath into the top corners of your lungs, nice and soft and slow. And then bring your hands together again. Rub them together. Make them nice and warm. And then bring the hands onto your throat and neck, wherever is comfortable. Nice and soft. Don't feel like you're compressing. Just placing the warmth of your hands on your throat and neck. And then feel and meet your breath as it moves down your throat. And then I'm going to assume you've all recently washed your hands at home. If you have not, skip this next practice. So bring your hands together, make them nice and warm, and then place them just over your cheeks and eyes. And then connect with your breath. So kind of cover your nose too. Feel the warmth of your hand and connect with your breath as it comes in your nose. Imagine that you could soften and warm all of your sinuses. Feel your breath as it comes in through your nose, out through your nose. And with each breath, perhaps imagining a little more space, a little more softness. And then let that go. Let your arms fall to the ground wherever comfortable. Bring your feet about hip width apart, knees up. And just start to feel your feet on the ground. So lift the toes up, spread the toes wide, and then plant them down. Lift the toes up, spread them wide, waking up your feet. Spread them down. This time lift them up and maybe feel like you're bringing one toe at a time down. Big toe and then the next one and the next one. Fan your toes out. And then keeping your toes on the ground. So you feel your toes on the ground, feel the balls of your feet on the ground. Start to activate your legs. And then roll your feet nice and slow onto the outer edge of the feet. So a little pressure. Trying to keep all the toes down, but also trying to find the outer edge of your feet. And then bring them all the way back. Let your knees move however they need to move. Press your hips down into the ground. Now press the balls of the feet into the ground and wiggle the toes. Let the toes be softer. Now we're going to start to move and breathe. So I like to bring the backs of my arms down to the ground, fingers up to the ceiling. Inhale as you lift the hips, exhale as you lower. Just starting to connect with moving with your breath, engaging all of the muscles from the heels to the mid-back, and then starting to pull with your stomach. So lifting the hips with your stomach muscles also. And then starting to loosen and soften the neck. Make sure you're not bringing the chin all the way down to the chest. We're focusing on torso, so from rib cage down to the heels. Moving and breathing. And then bring the hips up. This time engage the backs of the arms a little. Press into the left foot nice and steady. Try and keep those hips nice and steady. Lift the right leg. Cross the right ankle just underneath the left knee. And then press actively the right knee away from you. Hold. Starting to feel the hip. And then little lower of the hips, little lift. Matching the breath. Strong right leg. And then lower the hips. Bring the left knee towards the chest. Maybe even straightening up that left leg. Still actively pressing the right knee away from you. Draw the right toes towards the shin. And then lower the left foot, unravel, and take a little side to side with the knees and hips. And then set up for the other side. So rib cage down, shoulders down, backs of arms down, feet grounded, lift hips. Place the weight into the right foot, lift the left, cross underneath the right knee, press the left knee away from you, lifting the hips. So pulling with the stomach, using the glutes, using both legs nice and strong. Soften the face, the neck, and the shoulders. And then lift and lower. Small movements with the hips. Matching the breath. Lower the hips, bring the right knee towards the chest, maybe straighten the right leg. Still pushing the left knee away from you with your muscles, not your hands. Lower the right foot, unravel the left, and take a side to side with the knees. From here, we're going to come on up to our forearms. So place the forearms down. Land carefully. So get into a comfortable position for the shoulders and then engage the forearms. So we're not sinking into the shoulder joint. We're engaging, pressing into the arms. Press strongly into the arms and then feel like you're pulling them apart. So your shoulders are nice and strong and stable. Watch the skull. Bring a little bit of a tuck into the chin. So engage the stomach. This should feel like work in the shoulders already. If it's not, you're not working hard enough. And then engaging the lower core, pull it tight towards the spine, lift and hover the feet. So hold here, drawing the stomach tight towards the spine. And then we're going to bring one knee in at a time. Nice, slow bicycles. Pull the toes back towards the shins and press like you're pressing through the ball of the foot. Squeeze. If you're getting sore neck or tension in your neck, bring the chin down towards the chest. Try to soften the face. Try to engage the shoulders a little more. And then bring the knees in towards the chest. Take them out a little bit further from the chest. Take them over to the right. And we're going to take the legs out, hold, engage. Little movements, up and down. Engage. Still engaged in the shoulders, don't drop. Should feel tired already. Bring the knees back in. Take the knees over to the left, straighten up the legs. Little up and down, small movement. Bring the knees in towards the chest. Slowly lower back down and give yourself a little hug. Bring the knees all the way in, rock it, whatever feels good. Take a little reset. And then we're going to set up for a little bit more core work. So bringing the knees over the hips, press the hips down into the ground with the muscles of the stomach, press the rib cage down to the ground, set up. If you have a tendency to press into the hands and cheat, and you don't want to cheat or compensate, take your palms of your hands and bring them up towards the ceiling. If you wish to use your hands to help, you're going to press the palms of your hands into the ground. Bring the feet up even with the knees to begin. So now you should feel like the whole entire core is working. Pressing the rib cage down, pressing the hips down.
Cage down.
And take the knees all the way over to the right, keeping the shoulders solid on the ground.
Make sure you push
Arms
your
don't
hip
need
cage
to be
down.
working here. Your core should be doing this work. Making it harder, you're going to straighten up the legs.
Pushing your hip cage down.
Pressing your hip cage down. If you like, you can take the right arm up to the ceiling and then take it across the body and lift the shoulder. So hold here, little pulses. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. Breathe.
Cage exercise is actually really hard.
Bring it down. And take a little wiggle to reset. Notice if you had any compensation patterns. And take a second with your feet comfortable, knees comfortable, wherever that is for you. And just roll the head slowly side to side. Making sure you loosen any tension here, because one of the huge places we add compensation patterns in these exercises is in the neck. So then set up, bring knees over hips, press the hips down, solid. Like you're really trying to firmly ground those hips into the ground, and then ground the rib cage into the ground. Shoulders solid on the ground. Try to take the tension out of the neck. Take the knees over the hips, take the knees over towards the left. Right hip is going to pop up. If you wish to make it a little more challenging, you're going to straighten up the legs and hold. Hold it here, really strong in the core. Watch for compensation patterns. Try not to overgrip the ground. You can, if you're not strong enough to hold the legs with the core. Watch for the back. The back is not supposed to be doing the work here. The core is. And then maybe you can lift the left hand and bring it over. Little pulses.
Grounding your hip cage.
Grounding your hip cage.
That's really funny.
We've been working really hard in the heat, so English is getting harder and harder and harder. Bring it down, bring the knees in and rock. Give yourself a little hug, find your breath, reset. And then find your block if you have it. If you don't have it, you're just going to imagine you have it. Find your feet on the ground, knees up. Place the block just in between the hips. This is a really subtle core movement. So, you're not going to feel it until you do.
How do you have your block?
Just in between your legs, narrow way. Place the feet on the ground. This is the trick. You want to find engagement. So you want to feel like you're pushing the feet away from you without letting them move. Push your hips down, push your rib cage down. Take the tension out of the arms and the face and the neck. Really activate, squeeze your knees in towards the block. Squeeze, squeeze, squeeze. And then take the knees an inch left, an inch right. An inch left, an inch right. As slow as you can. When you slow it down, you're going to start to get that mind-body connection of this group right above the hip bone. That's where you're looking. If you're not feeling it, press a little more into the feet. Engage a little more. Maybe even try to squeeze the glutes a little. Like you're trying to really crush that block without using the face or the neck. As soon as I said that, I started using my face. Breathe. Squeeze. Bring the knees back to center, remembering your whole setup and how you're engaged. Take the block width wide ways. Wide side in between the legs. Should be a little more difficult. Same cues. Press into the feet. Activate the legs. Squeeze the block. A little to the left, a little to the right. Nice and slow. Find the mind-body connection. Look for the muscles that are going to make this move happen. We're not doing a fitness class. Yoga is about finding those muscles. Finding those muscles and the connection. Mind-body connection. And then bring the knees in. Release the block. Little reset. And then roll on over to a side. Come to a seat. And I'm still dripping. Excuse me while I clean myself up. Come to a comfortable seat. Get nice and tall in the spine. And bring the head down, chin down to the chest. Just opening up, feeling the back of the neck. Bring the chin to the ceiling. Bring the chin back to neutral, ear to shoulder. Really checking in, back to neutral, ear to other shoulder. Feeling where you're holding your tension. Back to neutral. Bring your shoulders all the way forward. And then slowly in this position, bring them up towards the ears. all the way back and squeeze the shoulder blades together. If you like, you can feel like you're pushing your hands against the wall behind you. Well, we have a wall behind you. I don't know what you have behind you. That would be creepy. Bring your shoulder blades down and keep squeezing them together.
Well, I feel like everyone has a wall behind them.
If you're doing it in your bedroom, maybe you have a bed behind you. Who knows? Bring them down. All the way down, all the way down. And then back forward.
They could be doing it outside.
And then bring them neutral and give them a wiggle, see how they feel. Make your way to tabletop.
They could be doing it outside and there could be a tree behind them.
Well, yes, see, we don't know. So we're gonna warm through the hands and find our breath. Inhaling tabletop, exhaling towards child. Inhale forward, exhale back. Finding that mind-body connection and finding whatever movement and shape feels good in your body. Finding a little exploration, not copying my body, my shape, not copying Kaylee's, just starting to land on your own mat, maybe even closing your eyes, inhaling forward, landing on your hands a little, exhaling, sending your hips back.
You know, the dumpster water smells even better when it dries on your shirt. I mean, it's just incredible. It's like a candle. They should make a candle out of this. Call it dumpster water. Smells really great.
And you can stay with this simple movement, or you can tuck your toes and hover your knees and come to that same movement. Inhaling tabletop, exhaling hips back. Starting to really fire up the arms and shoulders, the core, the whole of your legs. Inhale forward, exhale back. Nice and slow and controlled. And then bring it back to tabletop. We're gonna all come to a tabletop hover. So tucking the toes, lifting the knees, engage, hover. We're gonna bring the knees towards the arms, lean forward on the arm, and then really bring the right knee in towards the right elbow. Hold, engage. Bring the right heel towards the left elbow. Pigeon, flying pigeon. Sorry, it's not flying pigeon, but it's a lifted pigeon, floating. Hold, engage. Little pulses of the right knee towards the right elbow. So really engaging. Lots of work here. And then take it back. Find a down dog shape. Warm it up a little. Find any movement that feels good. After we do those challenging poses, you can understand how down dog can be referred to as a resting pose by some. And then return to a tabletop hover. This time, left knee is going to come towards left elbow. Engage. Lift up out of the ground. Left heel towards right elbow. Engage and hover. And then little pulses forward. Knee closer to that elbow and back. Squeeze the core. You want to lift like you're lifting into a cat pose with your chest. Shoulders are strong and active. And then place the left foot back, down dog. Find your breath. Lower the knees back to a tabletop. If you have the bands, you're gonna wrap loose band around lower legs. Woo. I can't get it around my lower legs. If you don't have it, you're just gonna engage. So don't worry about it if you have a band or not. So find your tabletop. We're gonna work the hips. Strengthen the hips. So nice strong arms, and if your arms and shoulders are getting tired, you are welcome to come down to a forearm for this. Just as long as you're not just hanging out in the shoulders, you wanna be engaged. So stand, coming into your tabletop. Left knee is gonna lift and hover, flex the foot, start to engage the hip, and then lift the hip up towards hip height. Lift the knee, hip height. Engage. Try not to do this, twisting and compensating with the stomach. We're really trying to keep everything still and just lift the leg. Really fight the movement. Find some muscle engagement. Take the tension out of the neck. Bring it up, hold it, hover it. Engage that left hip, should be burning. Knee towards elbow. Little pulses. If you want to get to flying pigeon, you gotta get strong hips. And then bring it down. Take a child's, funky child's to the left side. And bring it back to tabletop. Set up for the other leg. So left knee stays down, right knee lifts and lowers. Pull against the band or restrict your own movement and watch for your own compensation patterns, maybe changing the arm shape a little. So trying not to swing around and overuse the glutes or the low back. We're really trying to keep this movement in the right hip. Lift the knee, hover the knee, and then bring the knee a little bit towards the right elbow and back. Little tiny movement. The smaller and more restricted it is, the harder it is. Breathe. And then bring the knees down and take the hips over to the right. Funky side child's pose to the right. And surrender. Find your breath. Then bring it back to tabletop. Release the band if you have it. Whew. We're gonna bring a little bit of a challenging balancing pose into tabletop. So we're gonna lift the left leg, hover it, flex the foot, lift and hold. See if you can balance on the right hand, and lift and hover the left. Maybe even challenge and grab for the left foot. See if you can grab it. So, whew, it's not easy. So flat point, you can tuck the toes to help you balance. So, a little bit of a challenging version of dancer pose. I can hear you fluffing. It's not easy, it's just fun. So bring it down to a tabletop, take a little reset. Bring the right foot up, flex the foot, engage, set up first. Get really strong on the left side and maybe you can catch the foot. Different version of dancer.
I cut my face with the trash today.
Alright, I got it. Breathe. And when you're done playing, back to tabletop. Tuck the toes, down dog. Kaylee's determined to get it.
I got it.
So take the tension out of the head, lift up out of the shoulders, really engaging the core, lifting the hips high, connecting with your head below your heart, and nice, slow, steady breath. Inhale, lift the left leg really slow. Hold it here and breathe. Bend the knee, little pulses to the ceiling. Hold it here. Bend the right knee deeply, deeply, deeply. Bring the left knee towards the left elbow. Maybe you can even come forward and touch it. Bring it all the way back. Bend the right knee deeply, deeply, deeply. Left knee to left elbow. And then hold it up here. Bring the right heel, left heel towards the right arm. Hold, hover. And then step it wider than your left hand. So lizard pose. So once you get here, it can be helpful to have your blocks. We want to have an active lizard pose so we're not sinking. We're active. It's yoga for strength. So press into this left leg. Get really, really, really strong. Find strength. Pushing into this leg. This whole leg should be fired up. Hands come on the inside of the leg. You can bend the back knee and hover it. As long as you can still feel strong. Inside leg, inside hip, whole body. Nice and strong. Breathe. So if you have your block, you are going to land on your left hand, left leg still active. So really get strong here. Right hand is going to tap the ground. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. Inhale, open.
What am I supposed to be using here?
Exhale, down. From rib cage up, core. So your legs should be burning by now. If they're not, you're cheating. You're just hanging out in your hips like this. So legs should be burning. If you want to make this more challenging, you're going to wrap the band around your forearms and you're going to use your shoulders. Inhale, open. Exhale, down. Inhale, open. Exhale, down.
Looks really fun.
And then bring it down. Land on your right arm. So get some strength in your right arm. Still firing up that left leg. Should be burning. Lift up your torso. Bring your weight onto the outer edge of the left foot. So lifting up, still strong. Outer edge. Now you should be burning on the really outside side of your left leg. And then bend and hover the back knee and up. Hover and up. Nice strong legs. Lower the back knee all the way. Untuck the toes. Send the hips back towards the knee. And then find a little movement in this left leg. Letting go. And switch, bring that left knee to meet the right, back to tabletop. Tuck the toes, back to down dog. Breathe. Slowly lifting the right leg high. Breathe, get long. Bend the knee, little pumps with the heel to the ceiling. Bend the left leg deeply. Bring the right knee towards the right elbow. Bring it back. Bring it towards the elbow. And bring it back. Slow, with control, maybe even starting to land that knee up on the tricep. And then bring it all the way to the outside edge of the right hand. Setting up for lizard on this side, maybe using the block. Really, really, really engaging the left leg. So bending the knee until you can, right leg, sorry, until you can find the outside of those right legs. So you're really strong in the outside of the right leg and in the hip. Engage in your lizard pose. So we're not taking a passive, we're taking active lizard. Find some strength. And then again, option for the bands if you want to activate the shoulders as well. You're going to land into the right hand. You're going to inhale as you lift and open. Exhale as you bring the left hand down. Inhale as you lift and open. Exhale as you bring. So hips are trying to stay nice and steady and solid. This should be coming from the core. And if you're using the band, also the shoulders. The smaller you make the movement, the more you can find that mind-body connection and activate your muscles, resist your own movement. Release the band if you have it. And get strong on the left arm. Lifting up, start to bring the weight over onto the outer edge of the right foot. Really pressing into the ground, engaging. You should start to feel right side of the right leg burning. Huh?
Shut up. Get out of the pose.
So, now could be a really good time for a story. Once upon a time.
Stop talking.
Are you
Get out
ready
of the
to
pose.
find out what's next?
Bend the knee. Straighten. Bend the knee.
Oh yeah. Lower the back knee.
Lower the back knee. Straighten. Move around.
Lower the back knee.
I sped through that.
Send the hips back towards the knees. And then just find some movement, letting go. Feel your leg, have an internal experience about what's going on. Send the right knee back to meet the left and find child's. Release, let go. So now you would like story time?
Yeah.
I figured.
Maybe get a crocodile first.
Huh?
I said maybe get a crocodile first.
Working on hips and shoulders today, so no. Bring it back to tabletop and slowly make your way to forearms down in tabletop. Strengthening the shoulders, so this is active. Your hands are pressing into the ground. You feel like you're tearing your arms, your hands and your elbows away from each other, so pulling apart. Active and strong. Maybe you stay here and this is enough to work your shoulders. Maybe you lift and hover the knees, squeeze the core. And maybe you come forward with your nose and back with your nose. Little tiny movement, really strong and engaged in the shoulders. Take the tension out of the face. An option to go back to child, or if you're still working on shoulders, a lot of people have been requesting to get to shoulder stand. So bring the toes slowly up towards the elbows with as much bend in the knees as you can. Then engaging the shoulders, just begin to let your head tension go and really strong in the shoulders. And practice bringing your hips up close to your shoulders. Nice and slow, mindful. Forearm stand is not one of those poses we kick up to. It's one of those poses that you float up to with your own body strength, because that is safer. Of course you can kick up to it, but it's safer to learn to get strong first.
Or you can just kick up and flop around all over the place.
If you're just looking for the Instagram picture, you can just kick up to a wall and then bring your feet down, of course. All right, send your shoulders back, flip the palms and take a little rest. Send your hips back, sorry.
I don't recommend it. It is dangerous and quite painful when you kick up.
Yeah, if you don't have the shoulder strength, don't try it.
Yeah, you can bonk your head really easily.
All right. Back to tabletop, back to down dog. Find your down dog. And you can return to how we did this with tabletop pose, or you can try the extra challenge today. We're gonna bring the left leg up, bend the knee, bring the heel towards the glute. And maybe you can try dancer from down dog. Woo! See if you can do it. Get really strong in the shoulders. Woo!
Can't reach my foot.
Got it!
There we go.
And then switch sides. Have a little play. Have a little fun. We've been working with strength, so just trust your body. Whoop. Bring foot up first. See if you can grab it, and then see if you can find dancer. Woo. And then find your down dog when you're done playing. Okay.
It's not her fall on my head.
Alright, we're gonna inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, bring it towards the right hand. Inhale as you rise all the way up. Lunge.
It's Shavasana time.
Alright, we're gonna float forward onto the right leg. So bringing the torso forward, get strong first, float the back leg up, doesn't matter how high it comes, just get strong. And then we're gonna bring the right knee out and around. Heel is coming above the, left knee. Heel is coming above the right knee. Hover, squat, hover, strength. Whew. Hover, little pulses.
I need to do neck exercises again. My neck's
All right, land the left heel just above the right knee. And maybe sit it down. And maybe this is where you stay, or if you want to go towards flying, I think this is actually flying lizard, or flying toes. You're gonna bring your hands down towards the ground. You may need to find your blocks just so you can get
You've
hooked
been calling it the wrong thing.
I think I have. I'm really tired. I think it's a flying lizard. It is, right? I don't know.
I don't know.
All right, you're gonna hook. So
Isn't lizard this one?
left ankle is just above right knee.
Isn't lizard this one? The one with the leg out?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Left ankle is just above right knee. Bend into the right knee deeply. Find your ledge on your tricep for your left knee. Find that ledge first. Hook your foot onto the right tricep. So if you're using the blocks, this helps you get a little closer to the ground. So hook the foot firmly on the right tricep first. Hook, hook, hook. Then start to bring weight into the arms and just engage. This is probably plenty. If you're ready, you're going to start to bring your toes up on the right leg. Nice and slow. It's a float, not a push. Engage, and then you can lift up. And when you're done, you're going to slowly lower your knee down and unravel. Find yourself in a child's pose. If you are using the blocks, option to bring the backs of your elbows, so just on your triceps, onto the blocks, and then drop down. Hands over your head, maybe even clasped in prayer. Breathe and let go. And then down dog. Inhale, lift the left leg high. Exhale, bring the left foot behind the left wrist. Inhale, lift. high lunge. Get really strong in the legs, and we're gonna start to float. So weight onto the left leg, start to bring up the right. Bend the knee and bring it all the way around, nice and slow. And then heel comes above knee, float it. Little pulses, squat it down, lift the heel. Nice and strong and active. And then left, right heel, just above left knee. Hold, maybe you stay here, maybe you sit it down. And if you want to play, you're gonna find your blocks, or you're gonna bend all the way down towards the ground. The blocks just make it a little bit easier to find the ground. So keeping this left heel above the right heel above the left knee. You're gonna place the left arm down first. Wrap the left foot around that left tricep. Get the ledge of the right arm. So right tricep, right knee. Ledge, grab with the left toe. So really grab, begin to bring weight onto the arms and shoulders. Lean forward, scoop up with the chest. Really scoop up, get strong, and then you can float the left toes up. Maybe begin to lift the knee and point the toes to the ceiling. And when you're done playing, make your way down to child's pose. Again, option to bring the triceps down onto the blocks, prayer overhead. And that's it for the hard work section. Bring your upper body up, make your way to an easy seat.
You made it all the way through a hip class without doing loss. That's a miracle.
Melissa knows a lot about hamstrings more than him. All right. Find your easy seat. Take a scan, notice what is different. Find your breath, maybe even close your eyes. Feel your hips. Feel free to adjust your position, your seated position. There are no rewards for being the perfect yogi and sitting in this position. If there's a more comfortable seat for you, we're looking for comfort right now. If you have something to wipe your hands on, you wish to wipe your hands or wash your hands, take a quick break, go ahead. We're going to do a little face and jaw work. We had special requests of face and jaw work, so here we go. I take requests. Get really, really, really tall. And just begin to feel the muscles around your upper and lower jaw. Notice what is here. Really bring your attention to this upper and lower jaw space. Feel it. And then you're going to open your mouth as wide as it can go. So open, press your jaw down. And then you're going to bring one hand to wherever the base of your jaw is and push back. So you're going to push down with your jaw and push back with your hand, but nothing's moving. You're just having that sensation of pushing each way. So your jaw pushes down, your hand pushes up. So open wide and push. It's impossible to teach this with talking. And then leaving your jaw where it is, release the pressure of your hand, and then catch the top of your chin, and then switch. So now your hand pushes down and your jaw pulls up. Fire up the muscles. Feel the muscles. Keep the jaw where it is, release the hand. Press the jaw forward. And then press the hand into the jaw, jaw into the hand.
I know, I'm shaking. talking.
Keep the jaw where it is. Release the hand. Bring the hands behind the jaw. And then pull back. Press the hands into the jaw and pull back with the jaw. Keep the jaw where it is. Push your hand onto the right side of the jaw. And push your jaw to your hand to the jaw. Other side. And then let go. Take your jaw down. Right side, left side. Out. And then pull the jaw up while it's out. And then let go. See how it feels. Bring them in, palms of the hands together, rub them and make them nice and warm. And then place them right over that meeting space of upper and lower jaw. And imagine that just placing your hands here could relieve a little more tension. Release what is holding here. If you have a lot of tension around the jaw and it goes in back behind the ears, make Spock hands and wrap 2 fingers behind the ear. So now you're really wrapping the jaw in warmth. Release what is holding here. Imagine you have healing hands and that energy is going right into all the muscles of this space and releasing what no longer serves you. And while you're paying attention to this space, notice if anything else starts talking to you. Maybe some tension in the forehead, maybe there's some tension somewhere else. Notice. So maybe as you're starting to release this space, something else starts talking to you. Find your breath. Release what is stored. Imagine this softness can come from your hands all the way into your gums, especially above the teeth and the front of the mouth, and below the teeth and the lower jaw. Can you soften your gums? Imagine that your gums get so soft that little gaps form between your teeth and your teeth feel wider and softer. Obviously, we're not trying to undo dental work, and that's not really possible. We're just trying to imagine softness in our face. Don't cause panic, people. Imagine you could place little fluffy clouds between each tooth and then under the tongue. And then really paying attention to underneath the lower jaw. So we're going to bring our thumbs and we're going to place it right underneath the lower jaw, just underneath the chin. And if you move your thumbs around, you may locate a point. It's not right under the chin, right at the tip, but right in behind the bone. There's often a source of tension here. You might need to shift your thumbs around a little and then just hold. Breathe into this space with a teeny bit of pressure, not a lot. We're not pressing and pulling. Just hold this space like your thumbs have a healing touch. Breathe, let go, pay attention to your jaw where upper and lower jaw meet. And take any movements that your neck is beginning to feel like it needs to take. Trust in your body's intuition. Just kind of loosen and soften and go with the flow. As you start to release some tension, you might find your body wants to wiggle and release it out. And then as softly as you can, make your way to your back. If your eyes are closed, try to keep them closed. And really, really softly, like you have a sleeping baby in the room that's been awake for 24 hours. And you're trying not to wake them. Come down as slow and soft and careful as you can. Return to that position we began in. Bringing the knees in towards the chest, giving yourself a little hug like you're trying to seal in this sense of letting go. And then let your feet come to the ground, knees up, or your feet come all the way to the edge of your mat as slowly as you can. Remember not to wake that sleeping baby. Softly wiggle the hips. Softly wiggle the shoulders. Releasing all that is held. Surrendering into the ground. Letting it support you. Just for a moment, bringing one hand to the forehead and gently pressing here. Noticing if this brings any awareness to any further tension held within the jaw. Imagine again that soft, warm, healing touch in around the jaw, where upper and lower jaw meet, and in underneath the lower jaw. And then allow your hand to just softly fall to the ground. Surrender control of even your breath. And for the next few minutes, letting go. All of the work is done. Perhaps even taking a moment to say that to yourself. The work is done. All the muscles can turn off and take a little break. You can turn off the feet. You can turn off the legs. The hips can soften and melt into the ground. The shoulders can soften and melt. And then all of the tension of the face can soften and fall as the head is supported by the ground. If you notice any residual tension holding, perhaps taking a moment to say to yourself, right here in this moment, all of my needs are met. Greet your mind where it's at, as if greeting a dear friend. Imagining that your mind is a dear friend, and you are the one that is able to watch the comforting friend that sits nearby as the mind works through what it works through, does what it needs to do. Imagine that friend, that loved one that's comforted you in time of need. Perhaps someone that's comforted you when you were ill or sad. Imagine you could be that someone to your mind. Imagine you could sit next to it and allow it to swirl and spill its woes and be chaotic, maybe incoherent. And you just sit. Sit and listen and wait and watch and breathe and be comforting and non-judgmental. We're coming right up on that 60-minute mark. If you have somewhere that you need to be, follow along with us. If you have a little more time and you can take the time in your resting pose, listen to your body and stay as long as your body needs. Give yourself permission to take some time. Ready to finish up, you're going to slowly bring a little awareness to the thighs, maybe bringing the palms of your hands to your thighs and making them warm. Little circles with your hands. And then gently bring a knee in at a time towards the chest and curl up in a little ball on whatever side is calling to you, the fetal position. And take a moment to begin to feel sensations. Feel your body on the ground, feel the temperature of the room. Take in the sounds of the room and arrive back in the present moment. And perhaps being ready to really release those holding patterns onto the mat. You don't need to cognitively understand, I'm going to let go of this thing or that thing. Just imagine releasing some of what's no longer needed. Whatever helps you imagine that. Maybe you imagine you're carrying weights or bricks. You're going to put one down today. Maybe you imagine that you have layers all over your body. And you're ready to just strip one off and leave it today. And whatever it is, connect with releasing and then returning to a seated position a little bit lighter. Bringing your hands to prayer heart space. Bringing our left and right sides to meet in front of our hearts, as if accepting ourselves as whole and complete, precisely as we are. When we release our burdens, when we release the weight around us, it is not about forgetting our past or pretending it doesn't exist. Or if you let go one of those bricks, it no longer is part of you. You're simply letting go of the weight of that event, the weight of that burden, the tension around that burden, and learning to accept it as part of our story, part of our journey. Not good, not bad, not ugly, not judged, just a part, just one part of the puzzle. Incorporating and becoming whole. May we all know love, light, and connection. Thanks for coming to play.